Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. If you're boat shopping, make it one-stop shopping. With the biggest selection and variety of boats in the area, you can compare pontoons to ski boats to fishing boats all at one spot. Madisonville Marine celebrating their 40th year, which tells you more about them than I can ever do in one of these in-show testimonials. They've been around 40 years, tells you how good they are. All right, earlier we asked what non-starter, non-star from a year ago, what X factor that was going to be on the field a lot, would Butch Jones most want to have a huge year? Now I want to ask it a little differently. Who do you think will have an impact? And this is X factor, so we can throw in special teams guys here that you know will have an impact. We can throw out anybody that you think is going to have a big impact that didn't have, that isn't one of those main starting stars that we've talked about. Hurd, Dobbs, Kamara, Reeves-Maybin, Sutton, Barnett. Anybody? Who you got?
I'm going to go Galden. It's safety. I think Preston Williams is one they would prefer because of the long ball that we talked about earlier. But you've also got other receivers, whether it's Josh Malone, Josh Smith, Juwan Jennings, etc. It's safety. I think Galden has a chance to be a special player, and he's shown signs of that. I'm going to go Galden.
I'm going to trump your Galden. I'm going with Kelly at safety. I'm sticking to my guns with Todd Kelly Jr. We've seen him have a knack for the ball, getting his hands on the ball. So I'm going to say, given a whole, playing regularly, playing every snap, that he's going to have a big impact, even more so than he has as a part-time guy.
All right.
I would put check marks next to both of those names. I agree. I'll stay on the defensive side, though. This is a guy that's been a starter but a non-star, Corey Vereen, because there is a lot of talk and expectations for the rising sophomores on the defensive line. But Corey Vereen, remember the Alabama game, is a big difference maker there. His teammates have talked about how much they like his ability. If he can have a big year, it takes a lot of pressure off the other guys.
Chuck, hammer home your point from texting last night.
Well, but what did I was going to go with too? I would go with Aaron Medley as the kicker, and then also look at the kickoff returns. As far as who's going to be able to have more impact, and maybe utilize that person in Eric Berry in more of a role. Yeah, Evan Berry in more of a bigger role. Right.
Well, the thing is, we've talked a little bit about that. Evan Berry's not practicing in spring practice right now, but if you use him in other ways, you're just taking touches away from Kamara or Hurd, or carries away from Dobbs. But there are a lot of people that do want to see Berry used in other ways. And the downside about Evan Berry and how spectacular he is, he averaged almost 40 yards per return last year, 3 touchdowns. But when you look at the fact that this defense is supposed to be better this year, so let's say you give up 3 touchdowns a game, all right, 3 touchdowns a game, and then you get 1 kickoff at least guaranteed. You're talking about 4 touches per game? So that limits him. So that's why I think he is an X factor and does fit into this. And the other one that I was going to put in there was Aaron Medley, because the guy was 10th in the SEC last year in terms of field goal percentage. Missed 10, 21 out of 31, 67%. We're talking between segments. He did improve as the season went on. He had that mental thing, though. It seemed if you got outside 40 yards, it was questionable. Seemed to get over that too, but good or bad, your place kicker, he's going to have an impact. So I think Aaron Medley's a guarantee in that. Anybody else that we're missing that we think will have a definite impact that's an X factor?
Well, I think Darren Kirkland Jr. will. Talked to him yesterday and was just reminded from talking to him just how he came along last year and what a good football player I think he is.
All right. Very good.
I think that covers it. The other guys we mentioned earlier, I don't know that I would put it at the same confidence level that Rashawn Galden will play well, that Todd Kelly will play well.
Very good. Guys, I appreciate it. When we come back, a lot of hubbub this week, and I like using the word hubbub, about Butch Jones' phone records. Are we looking at the right thing that happened this past week? The judge made a couple of rulings. Which is the bigger story here, and why are folks making such a big deal out of the phone calls? We got a lot more to come. Come on back on the Sports Source.